Hi everybody, we are here at Merlin Magic Making with Deepika Padukone, and we have some questions for her because she will be the latest celebrity who will be joining the Madame Tussauds family in both our London and in our Delhi attraction. So we've got some questions from Deepika, and then we'll open up the floor to some of her fans who will be able to ask some questions as well. So, hi, welcome in.
Hi, thank you.
How do you feel about being immortalized in wax at Madame Tussauds?
I think it's an amazing feeling, to be honest. I think it's fun, it's exciting, and in a way, I think I feel a lot of gratitude as well, because I when you um, when you give back to your fans, you give them the opportunity to sort of interact, um, give them a little more than just the movies. I think that's always very, very special, and I hope they love it as much as we enjoy the process of creating the figure.
I'm sure they will. So, what was your first reaction when you got that call, that letter, and they said that they wanted you to be a figure of not only Madame Tussauds Delhi, but also Madame Tussauds London?
Yes. um, Very, very excited, because like I said, I think the only time I've visited the Madame Tussauds was in London, when I was very little with my parents, and that memory sort of has stayed with me, obviously. And then to receive a letter and to kind of um, to now be a part of that, and to actually experience what goes into um, making these wax figures. And I think Madame Tussauds is so iconic in so many ways all over the world. It just feels great that I can be a small part of it in some way.
Great. So in London, you'll be placed in the A-list section of the attraction alongside such big names as Helen Mirren and Angelina Jolie. Now, if it were up to you, who would you like to be stood next to in the attraction?
I think just fun people, so we can have our own little party there.
Yeah.
But I think, on a more serious note, I think that everyone who does make it to the Madame Tussauds, or who has in the past, I think everyone's, an achiever in some way. And I think just to be a part of this legacy, I think is exciting enough. So I'm just looking forward to the experience.
Wonderful. So what can you share with your fans about the unveiling of both of the figures?
Soon. I think that's all we can tell you for now. It's going to be out soon, soonish, as in early next year. I think we'll have London first, and then followed by Delhi in a couple of months. And I think it's exciting to have them stationed in places, where you have where you can have fans from all over the world, um, share that experience. So um, I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful. So you mentioned that you remember going to Madame Tussauds as just a young girl. Can you talk us through that experience a little bit and what you remember from that day?
I remember the touristy thing that everyone does, because that's the first time we came to London. You sort of you know see the whole city over a couple of days, and Madame Tussauds ends up being part of one of those iconic attractions that you want to see over those 4 or 5 days. And standing in a queue outside, buying a ticket, and then walking into this museum where you see people, um, who've influenced your life in some way or the other, and as a child to feel like they're actually right there, to feel like they're alive, and to see, to have that interactive experience. um, and that feeling of meeting someone that you may never meet in your life, um, or interact with or experience. I think just that entire journey and that entire experience for me is something that I will never ever forget. And I think the only thing that can top that for me now is, of course, when we go back into the museum, um, next year with my figure. Um, that's probably the only other time I would have gone in after, since I was a child.
wonderful. So now we all know you as a phenomenal actress and you're such a style icon. So is there anything that you can share with us about what the two figures will be wearing?
I think for me it has to be something that represents India, because that's, those are my roots, that's my culture, that's where I come from. But at the same time, something that's relatable to a global audience. I think in a lot of ways, it's a for me, I think, a representation of who I am or the work that I do, and I think the clothes, I would like for the clothes to represent that as well.
Great. Okay, wonderful. So now we're going to take a moment and open up the floor to some of Deepika's fans to ask some questions.
Okay.
So, okay. I think I saw there, why are you in London?
What?
You've come just for this meeting, right?
Yeah. Just for this. Soon after we finish the live, I think we should tell everyone that soon after we finish the live is when we get into the whole creative process of creating the figure. We have some of the world's best artists who are going to work with me. We're going to work together as a team. Something very, very special for all of you.
Mm-hmm. So where are you flying out to after this today?
That's a secret.
Okay. What's one of your favorite films that you've enjoyed working on?
I think every film is special and unique in a way. But if I had to choose one, I would think Piku. I think that was special in many, many ways.
Okay. Who are some of the other actors, whether they're in the Bollywood industry or in the Hollywood industry, who have influenced you and made you want to become a better actress?
I wouldn't say actors specifically, but I feel like I think I've watched different films, and I think from different people and from different films, I think I've learned something, or something's had some sort of impact on my life. But I feel I've been more influenced by, I think, sports people, because growing up I was an athlete myself. I come from a sporting sort of background, and I think that athletes have inspired me in a very different way.
Great. And I guess what advice would you have for young people who are wanting to become an actor and follow in your footsteps? Is there anything that you could tell them that would inspire them?
I think two things. I think authenticity and patience. I think it's very important to be patient and to be authentic and true to who you are. Don't lose yourself in the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. It's not a huge amount. Next. Is there any upcoming projects that you can talk about, or is that all under wraps and a bit hushed up?
Under wraps, I think everyone will know soon. Yeah.
Great. Okay. And I suppose, are there any actors that again that you admire, who you would love to do a project with, whether they're again Bollywood or in more American cinema? I'm sure there's a lot, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people. I mean, of course, I'm excited about the work that a lot of people have done. But like I said, I think scripts excite me more than people. I think people sort of, I think that for me is secondary. I think it's always more exciting to come across an interesting or exciting or challenging script.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the director who's going to come on board and bring that vision to life. I think that for me is much more exciting.
So what is it about a script specifically? Is it the pacing or your character in there?
I think I mean I've always followed my gut as far as that's concerned. I don't think, very often I feel like, okay, emotionally this is the kind of film I want to do, and you go after wanting to do a certain type of film, and no one's really making that kind of film, and then you come across something else that's probably not in the emotional space that you were looking at, but you just connect with it. So I think gut instinct, and you just know it. I mean, that's at least the way I've, with all the films that I've done over the years, that's the process I follow. I don't think there's any formula to a right or wrong film. I think you just have to follow your heart and follow your instinct.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay, so everyone can stay tuned to find out more information throughout the year about Deepika's two figures that will be coming to Madame Tussauds. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, and we cannot wait to share this experience with all of you. Thank you.